There are people laughing in crowded rooms, while secretly falling apart inside. There are people posting happy pictures, while crying themselves to sleep at night. And the saddest part? Modern life made this normal. Naomi was only 22 years old, but lately, life already felt heavy. Not the kind of heavy people notice immediately. She still smiled at coworkers. Still answered messages with, "I'm good." Still posted pictures that looked normal enough. But deep inside, something felt broken. Every morning in Los Angeles began exactly the same way. The alarm rang before sunrise. Her eyes opened slowly, already tired before the day even started. The first thing she reached for wasn't water. Wasn't sunlight. Wasn't even a thought. It was her phone. Notifications. Messages. Videos. News headlines. Perfect faces smiling through a glowing screen. And before Naomi even got out of bed, the world had already filled her mind with noise. That was the strange thing about modern life. People never sit alone with themselves anymore. There's always something playing. Something distracting. Something stealing attention. Silence became uncomfortable because silence forces people to feel. Naomi got dressed quietly and drove through endless traffic while the city slowly woke up around her. People rushed everywhere. Coffee in one hand. Phones in the other. Everyone looked stressed. Everyone looked late. Everyone looked mentally somewhere else. Sometimes Naomi stopped at red lights and stared at the faces inside nearby cars. Nobody looked peaceful. A man screamed into his phone. A woman applied makeup while driving. Another person stared blankly ahead like life had drained every emotion out of them. And Naomi always had the same thought, when did life become this exhausting? At work, she spent 8 hours pretending to care about things that meant nothing to her. Deadlines. Meetings. Emails marked urgent that nobody would remember a week later. The office was full of fake energy. People laughed loudly at jokes they didn't find funny. Everyone said they were living the dream while secretly counting minutes until they could leave. Naomi played the role too. That's what scared her most. She had become good at pretending. Good at looking okay. Modern life rewards performance more than honesty. As long as you keep functioning, nobody asks questions. As long as you show up, smile, and stay productive, society assumes you're fine. But Naomi wasn't fine. Every night she came home emotionally drained. She dropped her keys on the kitchen counter, kicked off her shoes, and collapsed onto the couch in silence. The apartment felt cold sometimes. Not physically. Emotionally. There were nights when the only sound in the room came from videos playing endlessly in the background just so she wouldn't feel alone. That's another sad reality nobody talks about. People don't even enjoy entertainment anymore. They use it to escape themselves. Naomi scrolled for hours every night without remembering half the things she watched. One video became 10. 10 became 50. Suddenly it was 2 a.m. again. And somehow, despite consuming endless content every day, she still felt empty inside. Because distraction can entertain pain temporarily, but it can never heal it. One night Naomi opened social media while eating noodles straight from the container. Someone her age bought a luxury apartment. Someone else got engaged. Another girl posted smiling pictures from Paris under glowing city lights. Thousands of people liked the photos instantly. Naomi looked down at herself sitting alone in oversized sweatpants under dim kitchen lights. And slowly, comparison started poisoning her thoughts again. Modern life turned happiness into competition. Everybody feels pressured to look successful all the time. Nobody posts confusion. Nobody posts loneliness. Nobody posts nights spent crying quietly in bed wondering if life will ever feel meaningful again. The internet became a stage where everyone performs perfection while secretly struggling behind closed doors. And Naomi was tired of performing. One Friday evening, her coworkers invited her to a rooftop party near downtown Los Angeles. Music blasted through giant speakers while expensive lights flashed across smiling faces. People danced with drinks in their hands while recording everything for social media. Naomi stood near the edge of the rooftop staring at the city skyline. The buildings glowed beautifully beneath the dark sky. From far away, the city looked alive. But standing there surrounded by hundreds of people, Naomi had never felt lonelier. Conversations lasted seconds before someone checked their phone again. Nobody stayed present. Everyone seemed desperate to capture moments instead of actually experiencing them. A girl nearby spent 15 minutes retaking the same photo just to look effortless. A group of friends sat together in silence scrolling separately. Even laughter sounded forced. And suddenly Naomi realized something painful. Most people weren't truly living anymore. They were performing life. Performing happiness. Performing confidence. Performing success. The modern world taught people how to look alive without actually feeling alive inside. That realization hit Naomi harder than she expected. She quietly walked away from the party and took the elevator downstairs alone. Outside, cold night air hit her face. Cars rushed past endlessly while distant sirens echoed through the streets. Naomi sat on a bench under a flickering streetlight and finally allowed herself to stop pretending. Tears rolled down her face slowly. Not dramatic tears. Not movie tears. Just years of exhaustion finally escaping quietly. Because the truth was, Naomi didn't know who she was anymore. She had spent so much time trying to become impressive that she forgot how to become peaceful. And deep down, she knew millions of people felt the exact same way. Modern life teaches people to chase everything except themselves. More money. More followers. More validation. More productivity. People wake up exhausted and sleep anxious because the world constantly tells them they are behind. Behind financially. Behind socially. Behind physically. Behind emotionally. No matter how much someone achieves, modern culture always moves the finish line further away. And the constant pressure slowly destroys people from the inside. Weeks passed after that night. Something inside Naomi began changing. Not dramatically. Quietly. She started noticing things she ignored before. How strange it was that nobody could sit in silence anymore. How everyone panicked the moment boredom appeared. How people reached for phones during every uncomfortable emotion. Sad. Distract yourself. Heartbroken. Scroll. Anxious. Watch something. Lonely. Refresh notifications. Nobody sits with pain anymore long enough to understand it. And because of that, many people never truly heal. One morning Naomi made a small decision. She left her phone at home and drove toward the ocean before sunrise. The roads were unusually quiet. For once, there were no notifications pulling at her attention. No noise. Just silence. She parked near Santa Monica Pier and walked alone along the beach while cold waves touched the shore. The sky slowly turned orange as sunlight spread across the horizon. For the first time in years, Naomi felt present. Not distracted. Not entertained. Present. And strangely, that simple moment felt more meaningful than anything social media had offered her in years. She sat in the sand watching birds move across the morning sky while realizing something important. Peace had become rare in modern life. People are overstimulated every second of the day. Constant information. Constant pressure. Constant comparison. Human minds were never designed to handle this much noise. No wonder people feel exhausted all the time. Naomi started changing slowly after that. She began taking walks without headphones. She stopped checking her phone first thing in the morning. She read books again. She called old friends and actually listened instead of multitasking during conversations. Some nights she sat quietly by herself without needing constant entertainment. At first, silence felt uncomfortable. Then healing. Slowly, her mind became calmer. And for the first time in a long time, Naomi started feeling connected to herself again. Life still wasn't perfect. She still had stress. Still had bills. Still had difficult days where loneliness returned unexpectedly. But now she understood something powerful. A meaningful life and an impressive life are not always the same thing. Modern life convinces people that success means being constantly busy, constantly visible, constantly productive. But Naomi learned that real happiness often exists in smaller things. A slow walk at sunset. Feeling emotionally free instead of constantly overwhelmed. Things that can't be measured online. Things the modern world rarely values anymore. And maybe the saddest reality of modern life isn't technology itself, it's how disconnected people became from their own hearts. People know what celebrities are doing every hour, but don't know how to sit alone with their own thoughts. People have thousands of followers, but nobody they can truly call when life falls apart. People spend years building online identities, while losing their real identity completely. Naomi finally understood that protecting her peace mattered more than impressing strangers. Because one day, everyone reaches a moment where achievements stop mattering. And in that moment, the only thing left is the life you actually felt. Not the life you posted. The life you lived. So if you feel exhausted lately, if your mind feels heavy, if life feels strangely empty even when everything looks fine, you are not alone. Modern life taught people how to survive chaos, but forgot to teach them how to live with peace. And maybe healing begins the moment you stop chasing everything the world told you to chase, and finally start listening to yourself again.